Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Green Light, and it's just me today, Mr. Actual Vision, or Luke, whatever you want to call me. I've been called a lot worse, that's for sure. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a look at the liveries, I think, for Formula 1 2022. The Green Light is a show where we'll be doing a watch-along with many motorsport series in the world, and Formula 1 will be one of those series. So I thought, you know what, let's have a look at the cars, because aesthetically, that's, for me, the first thing I'm like, yeah, okay, great. What do the cars look like? And with the new regulations, they look mean, but the liveries themselves, I like seeing bright colours, and I just like seeing outlandish stuff. So yeah, let's have a little look here. So I'm going to do it in order of what I think. Of course, we have to put Alfa Romeo the first one really in terms of the worst, because they haven't released it yet, although would not be too opposed to them releasing this camouflage livery. But we see one team at least do this every single year, right? And we all get super, like, you know, crazy about it and go, oh, do you know what? I think they should probably use that livery. It looks great, but it would be boring very, very quickly. And also, you wouldn't be able to see the car half the time. It would be camouflaged with the background, obviously. Yeah, what do we expect from Alfa Romeo? Probably a red and white livery, right? There are some concepts out there from some very talented individuals. If you want to go and see some of those concepts, Tim Holmes Design on Twitter, you should definitely go check him out. He's got some incredible concepts out there and actually does build real liveries in real life as well. So definitely check him out. But yeah, it is what it is. So we're going to be very, very quickly moving away from this. The next one for me personally, and again, this is for me personally, and I'm having to sort of look through everything, is the Haas livery. Yesterday they had to change, of course, remove the sponsor because of what's going on in the world right now. Yeah, sad times. It really is. It's obviously going to impact what their livery looks like, of course, but that's not the biggest issue, is it? You know, it doesn't matter what the car looks like ultimately. But it might actually have a bit of an effect on Haas being able to survive, because it's their main sponsor, and getting rid of them is obviously going to impact them as a team. As we know, there are bigger fish to fry in this world, but you know, we're talking about Formula 1 specifically right now, and yeah, we just kind of hope that Haas are able to stick around. Is this going to mean that maybe someone like Andretti come in a little bit earlier and maybe try and buy the team or something? I don't know whether this sponsor debacle is really going to have that bigger impact. But here we're just talking about the looks of the cars, so I don't want to get too involved in anything else around the situation. But it gives me Brawn GP vibes. I kind of quite like it, but it is very, very plain. So, you know, I've put it down as P9. Again, I quite like it. It's because I quite like pretty much all of the liveries. I think there's been actually a really good job this season. So to be P9, it's obviously one of the worst liveries, but I just don't think there's that many bad ones. The next one for me will be Williams. So Williams here, it just I don't know. It's very plain, right? There's not a lot to it, which again is great. But Williams are well known for, especially in the 90s, for an incredible array of liveries, and you know, going through sort of the early 2000s as well to the mid 2000s. I remember the Martini white livery as well. That was kind of a real plain one, but it stuck out because it had its own sort of characteristics. But this one, it doesn't strike me as, oh, look at me, I'm a beautiful piece of machinery. It's just, I don't know. I don't want to slate anyone or anything like that, but it just doesn't really stick out as a Formula 1 livery. It's kind of a bit too basic for me. But again, I still feel it's a little bit better than the other two. It's not the worst thing in the world either. Again, I don't think there's any particularly rubbish liveries in this season. So that is my P7. Or P8, should I say. And this is going to be a bit of a controversial one. McLaren. I think McLaren are... I just don't like it. It just looks really messy, to be completely honest. By all accounts, the car's really quick, and that's all that really matters, ultimately. But I would kind of like to have seen it inverted with the blue and the orange. I think that might have made it look a little bit nicer, but it just looks too messy, really. It doesn't sort of... There's no cohesion with it. It's just kind of like a, I don't know, like a paint-by-number livery, if for me personally. I know there's a lot of people out there that absolutely love it, and yeah, fair play. But for me personally, I'm not a huge fan, and I like the colours, I like the papaya, and I like the baby blue, but ultimately it just doesn't. I don't know. McLaren, again, I come from an era where McLaren were red and white, and then they went to the silver with the red sort of trim. to the cars of the Kimi Räikkönen and Mika Hakkinen kind of days, David Coulthard, etc. I'm glad that we're not with the grey and red that we had for 2014 when Fernando Alonso was racing. And I've kind of liked the papaya way we've gone, but this one for me is probably the worst in the papaya. Time, the last sort of few years anyway. So that's what I would say with that one. What would be my next one here? Now, this has got me thinking. I'm actually going to go for Aston Martin. I know a lot of people absolutely love this, and it is very much a British racing green, so I should be loving this, right? British bias and all that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's something missing from it, if I'm honest. It does... Again, it's kind of like... It's worse of the good ones, of the really good ones, I guess. So it's not a terrible livery. Again, it doesn't matter what I think. This is just, again, my own personal feelings towards livery. But again, it doesn't strike me as something I'm like, oh, I love that. There's a couple that really do, resonate with me. So yeah, it's okay, I guess. And it's a huge improvement from last season, but I think that the cars' looks have kind of helped that anyway. Although a lot of these cars, of course, are not actually the real chassis of what we are going to see on the grid. We've seen a lot of liveries actually kind of be made to look worse because of the actual car that's been built. But it's quite nice. It's not horrible by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not in my top 5. So that's number 6, right? I think. The next car then for me is going to be, where are you? There it is, Ferrari. It's Ferrari, right? It's always going to be scarlet. There's nothing really too crazy about it. It works. I would prefer there to be a different colour than black to accent the red. If I'm honest, I kind of like the green that they've had in the previous couple of seasons. But yeah, it is what it is. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's Ferrari. So Ferrari will be P5 for me. So yeah, there's not much I can say about it. It's nice, but it's just Ferrari. Maybe that's me being biased because I'm not really a Ferrari fan. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts and feelings on that one. What is the next team that we're going to be looking at? AlphaTauri, right? I think this looks really nice, really, really nice. It's kind of like their old livery, but it's been like expanded. It's like a field of view slider. If you've got an ultra-wide screen and you play any video games on it, you'll note when you're looking at the middle of your screen, if you just look to the left or right in the peripheral areas, it's just stretched a little bit. And it's kind of like the old livery, but stretched across a mean car. And I like it. I think it's really, really nice. It's simple. It's effective. It's what you come to expect from Red Bull and AlphaTauri. It's as simple as that, right? They are just the two teams that don't really change all too much, and there's no need to. Also, AlphaTauri fashion, like, it goes hand in hand, right? It just looks really nice, and I think it's one of the better liveries on the grid. Their sister team will be number P3 for me. It's Red Bull. You know exactly what you're going to get from them. It's pretty much the same every single time. Very similarly to Ferrari, but the Red Bull livery always is just very striking. It's a very, very nice car. It's as simple as that. Like, that is the be-all and end-all. If it works, it works. Red Bull livery always works. As soon as you... how I like to see it is, as soon as you look at a grid of cars, there are 4 or 5 cars, whether if you go across a 10-year span, that you'll be instantly able to go, that is Red Bull, that is Ferrari, that is Mercedes. Like, whereas the other teams outside of that, it becomes a bit more difficult. So, for instance, if you were a fan in 2010, and now you're a fan in let's say a 10-year span, so 2012, and then you're a fan in 2022 today, you'd be able to pick up the Red Bull, you'd be able to pick up the Ferrari, you'd be able to pick out the Mercedes. What other car would you be able to pick out that looks similar? None of the others? Like, some of them weren't even there, remember, but Williams look different. Trying to think of the other teams that are in. A lot of the other teams have actually changed, but you know what I'm saying. Like the main McLaren, you wouldn't be able to pick out the McLaren if you were like a Netflix fan, let's say, but someone who's just a casual. who, if you go, right, you pick the team from 2012 to 2022, whereas with Red Bull you can. So the top 3 sort of teams we've come to expect in the sport over the last couple of decades, you know exactly what you're going to get with them. And actually, speaking of one of those teams, we're going to go for Mercedes as P2. So Mercedes here, I think this is absolutely sensational. I posted this on Twitter saying this was the winning livery out of everyone, but there was one team that hadn't quite released their car yet. This is just, I just love it. I absolutely love it. The silver and the turquoise and the red have just become, I don't know, with Mercedes particularly, of course, they changed their livery for a couple of seasons, which the black livery was an amazing livery. But to go back to the silver arrows, of course, that's what their team name or their team nickname is. It makes sense. And it just is so striking. The accents of the red and the turquoise, for me, just make this car absolutely outstanding. The shiny silver with the red star as well, the red AMG star for Niki Lauda, which is on the other side, I believe, because it's not on this image, but that just looks so mean. Again, we know the cars are going to look a little bit different in terms of their actual build, but this looks absolutely beautiful. I am fully on board with it. I'm not a fan of any team particularly. If anything, Williams are my team, have been from day dot, but I just like the sport as a whole, so I've got no bias towards it or anything like that. But yeah, this livery is just absolutely delicious. And P1, I think everybody kind of was, I don't know whether everyone will agree with me. There's 2 liveries here, but the Alpine team, this is just so outlandish. They've got, like, again, a lot of people on Twitter love to watch the concept builder liveries, like, or get the images on and go, oh my god, that's amazing, because, and not realize that actually you can't really build those liveries because, you know, there's certain regulations in terms of what sponsors have paid for, so their sponsor has to be a certain size and whatnot, so it kind of limits actually what you can get on a real car. Again, any livery creators out there, maybe I'm completely wrong, I don't know on that regard, but basically when you do a concept art, you've got carte blanche. You can kind of make the design as small or as big as you want in terms of each sponsor, so you can do anything you want. We saw a couple of Haas ones with like the American flag with eagles flying all over it and stuff, but yeah, this one it looks like a concept livery, but they're using it. It's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. To be fair, the graphics that you can see on your screen right now, the green light graphics, are actually built by someone who was involved with the livery build here, which is Racer Designs on Twitter. Shout out to Chris. So yeah, the pink accent in the blue, it just looks really nice. The Alpine livery was nice last season anyway. It just has that classy look, very similarly to what the Mercedes has, let's say the Ferrari as well. It just has a bit of class to it. But the BWT pink coming in as well just looks really nice. And the fact that we've got an inverted version as well, where it's more pink than blue, it's really, really cool. I'm not sure how they're going to work that. Like, is it a case of they're going to be using that in a specific continent, or I don't know how exactly that's going to work, or maybe it's going to be alternate races. But yeah, this for me is absolutely #1. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm sure people are going to be thinking, oh, you're absolutely mad. That's wrong. What are you talking about? But yeah, for me, that is my top 10. Alpine taking P1. As for the cars in terms of their pace, no idea what's going to happen with them. But yeah, we will be covering loads of races during this whole season in terms of Formula 1, WEC, IMSA, NASCAR, IndyCar. We're going to be doing like a watch-along show. So basically, if you want to get involved with that, it's going to be on twitch.tv/ActRollVision. I will post the link in the description below. And yeah, we will be covering all of these races. It's also a chance for you watching at home to come and get involved. You will be having like a phone-in, like Talk Sport do on radio. You know, sometimes during the race, sometimes after the race when something happens that maybe we need to talk about, or there's some genuine big talking points. So it's going to be kind of a community feel watch along. So basically, you'll be watching the race at home, I'll be watching the race on my computer, and with some guests that come in as well, and we can all just have a discussion, and hopefully it doesn't get out of hand just like Twitter. So basically an adult place of talking. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, and just leave a little comment below and let me know what your number 1, 2 and 3 are. Maybe you want to list your whole 10, it's fine. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this, something a little bit different on the channel, and maybe I'll do a few more things like this in the future. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I shall catch you all next time. Bye bye.